What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe, No Days Off DFS, here to bring you that NBA slate breakdown for the 2-game NBA slate. Yeah, we went from 14 games to 2 games, but you know what? That is the game. That's how it goes. We get these crazy slates left and right, and then tomorrow, it's a nice mid-tier, 8 games. And you know what? We're going to be back again to break that down. If you guys are new here and you guys have not done so already, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the breakdowns that I do over here, and drop a like on the video if it's helping you guys win some money. Now, last night was one of those very weird, a big slate, 14 games, so many different ways you can go. We got players getting tossed out, players getting hamstring injuries, players rolling their, it was left and right. Stuff just went wrong in so many games, and still I cashed. I'm gonna be honest, cash in DFS. Props, I really don't even want to talk about props right now because I'm still so pissed at Michael Brogdon. 5 minutes into the game, injures his fucking hamstring. And that just tells me that you did not warm up right or something to get ready for that game. That's exactly what it tells me, because he would have smashed, would have been ace. I dropped a 3-pick into the chat for price picks. First half fantasy scores. I had the Joker. I had my boy Aaron Gordon, who I had been on all day, and Michael Brogdon, who was another player I was on all day. Matchups were there, perfect. Brogdon already was putting up over a fantasy point per minute, and his time out there, boom, gets injured. I said, okay, cool, wow, I'm fucked, because of course I powered it. If I would have flexed it, I would have got my money back, but of course I was like, there's no way. I love these plays too much. I was very confident in it. Boom, down 140 on that power play. Yep, but hey, that's why it's no days off. We do this stuff every day, and back at it again, try to win some more money. So yeah, if you guys are trying to see my props, my player pool, all the stuff that I put out, the DFS content, everything that I'm putting out as well, make sure you guys check the link down in the description below for the Dub Club. Right now, the Dub Club until the 15th is free. It is free. When you sign up, you will get 1 month for free if you sign up by the 15th. After that, then we will go ahead and we'll start charging again for the Dub Club. So check that out if you guys have not done so already, because you're not only getting my content, you're getting everyone else over here for the No Days Off family that's putting out stuff left and right. And as I said before, we got UFC, we have golf coming back up, we have my boy George, who's putting out his betting plays for not only Prize Picks and other sites, he's also putting out for DraftKings, he's putting out for FanDuel, any sites that you can ladder plays on, stuff like that. My boy George, he's got you covered with that stuff. And of course, I can't forget about my boy BK, who's been dropping hockey stuff left and right. And if you can get on some of these sites that actually don't have lines that can be pushes, he's been doing pretty good on that as well. So with that being said, going ahead and getting into tonight, you know how we do. We're going to start with the injury report. Hopefully you guys did enjoy that breakdown yesterday. I think I'm going to stick with that. Kind of got a positive review, so a couple of DMs in regards to just going over the value and some of the studs and stuff like that on the slate, and then versus going game by game. Of course, it's 2 games, so some stuff to talk through. I will be going game by game on this one. So of course, we'll still give you guys some value and things like that. But hey, small slate. Got some time to kill on this one. So looking at it, we got some news earlier today that Damian Lillard, he is a game time decision. He is questionable to play. Giannis, he popped up as probable to play. Giannis did not play the full game last night because he got ejected by a soft ass ref who was in his feelings over Giannis flexing at somebody like he does every single time whenever he hammers down a dunk and he's getting in the game. So Giannis should be able to play today. That's why he's green over here on RotoWire. Dame popping up middle of the day. I would expect Dame more than likely to sit out, especially on back-to-back. Veteran player. Might not need him to play against any, especially when you have Giannis. And then, of course, Chris Middleton will be back today since he rested yesterday. So that game time decision tag might just be so the way they can go ahead and rest Dame. Over here for Indy, no news yet. They are also on the back end of a back-to-back. No news. Definitely will pay attention because we know how stuff sometimes pops up. It's a 2-game slate. Stuff can still get crazy and weird right before lock. But no news right now. So, but definitely keep an eye on that. Over here for Atlanta and Orlando, they did not play yesterday. They are actually in Mexico, so they are playing at Elevation tonight. So we got Atlanta and Orlando. For them, same guys that have been out for quite some time: Kobe Buffkin, Guy, and Wesley Matthews. They are all out for Atlanta. For Orlando, Markelle Fultz, he practiced today. Practice yesterday and today. Question is going to be whether or not if he's going to actually play. If Fultz is out, we can still see our boy Black get slid back into the starting lineup. And then, of course, that'll vote players like Jalen Suggs, Paulo Banchero, and all that. And then outside of that, I'm not too sure in regards to how to lean this way with Fultz, because he does have an injury history and stuff like that. So I'm really going to want to pay attention to news in regards to that. Outside of that, Wendell Carter Jr. is still out. Gary Harris is still out as well. So we should still see Goga starting at the center position over here for them. All right, going over to DraftKings, the site that's been all right. The site says that's been somewhat winning us some money left and right. We haven't had the big takedown for the NBA yet, but you know what? We are going to get that. It is going to pop up. It's going to be there. And all we got to do is just keep staying the course and grinding it out. If you guys don't have an account and you want one, check the link down in the description below so you guys can get that deposit match bonus and join me over here on The King. Starting out with Milwaukee, on the Milwaukee side, Giannis is pretty much the best play on the slate in regards to studs for paying up, especially if Dame is going to be out. If Dame is in, that's when you can definitely question, do I want to pay up that price 10-7 for Giannis in this position spot? To me, honestly, either way, if Dame is in or out, like last night, Giannis was on track to legit smash at low ownership. Of course, we had the Embiids and the Joker on the slate. Going up against the Indiana Pacers, who we've seen already bleed points to the power forward position out there. Laurie last night dropped 40 fantasy points. Victor Wembanyama wasn't the greatest game, but still dropped 33 going up against them. PJ Washington, who's been dog shit to start the season, 30 fantasy points. Evan Mobley, 48. Jason Tatum, 53. So really great spot for a high usage player, especially if there's no Damian Lillard here playing tonight. I definitely will have a lot of interest in Giannis. And like I said last night, did not get to play his full allotment of minutes. Only played 22. And Indy, they've been playing pretty fast. They could definitely stay in this game. I can see block upside for Giannis here. The rebound should be there for Giannis. If Dame sits, the assists will definitely be there for him. Possible triple-double upside as well. But Giannis, definitely high stud, really great play, especially if Dame is out. Now, if Dame is in, of course, everyone's going to kind of take a hit. I still would take a chance on Giannis. And then Chris Middleton, sitting at 6'2". I don't mind it, but when you look at Chris, he's just now etching into the 20 minutes that he's playing. Maybe he could get up to possibly 25 minutes tonight. Maybe. Not saying this is a must, but he is putting up some decent fantasy point numbers in the position and spot. I wouldn't mind taking a chance on him if I'm doing like a 3 max or a 20 max entry and you want to get different, possibly somewhere you can sprinkle that in. Now, if Dame is going to be out, I would expect for them to start Cameron Payne. Cameron Payne sitting at 3,700, more than likely will be the chalk value play of the slate. Don't mind it. You can fade it. It's not a must, but definitely would have to put it on your radar, considering that he's going to be going in a fast-paced matchup. If he's actually able to knock down his shot, he'll be a pretty good play. He can play make a little bit. He can play some defense, light defense. He's not the greatest defender in the world, but that would actually give me some more interest in maybe players like Beasley, who I know is a really good three-point shooter, can definitely knock down some shots if he's actually getting fed those shots like that. We've seen him put up a 29.5 fantasy point game going up against Toronto. In that game, he went 6 of 9 from 3. So definitely some interest there in Beasley if Dame is going to be out, because then maybe he'll actually become their three-point shooter, their main guy to go out there and shoot. Outside of that, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, value, cheap plays that we could look to at the center position, kind of splitting those minutes right there for them both. Don't mind it. Again, I definitely feel there's some better spots that we can go to in regards to the mid-tier, cheapish center and power forward forwards positions, and especially in Atlanta and Orlando to get us some pieces in that game. But definitely would have to put them into consideration as well. If Dame sits, definitely have some more interest in all of the starters, because of course Brook Lopez should see a couple more shots that he can actually get. We know that if he gets hot from 3, he can definitely put up some numbers. Now over here on the other side, looking at Indy, straight out the gate, of course, we know that Milwaukee Bucks, they're not the Milwaukee Bucks of old. Their defense, I'm not scared of their defense at all whatsoever. So Halliburton, again, choking his shot, definitely playmaking a ton. The assist numbers that this kid is putting up out here are ridiculous, going bonkers. 13 assists, 8, 12, 13, 13, 13. Double-digit assists practically for Hallie out here. And now you're going up against a Bucks team who has given up roughly about 8, averaging 8 assists to the point guard position. So definitely another great game where we can see playmaking from Halliburton. 10K, wouldn't mind if you want to run the stack from this first game of Hallie and Giannis. Of course, you're going to have to look for the value plays, and I feel like we can get those values in the second game for sure. And maybe if we do get a Cameron Payne starting, that's another value piece you can get from Milwaukee on that side. Now, outside of that, Miles Turner at 7-1. I know he had a decent game last night going up against Utah, 35.5 fantasy points, but only in 23 minutes. His minutes are the only thing that worry me about Miles Turner, especially when I can come down here to Jalen Smith at 4-1, who's roughly kind of teetering around that same tier of, hey, I'm getting close to 20 minutes and I'm putting up practically over 1.5 fantasy point per minute when I'm out here on the court. 25 minutes last night. They practically split their minutes last night between Jalen Smith and Miles Turner. And the good thing is about Jalen Smith and Miles Turner is they can both play on the court at the same time, because Jalen Smith doubles as power forward out there with Obi Toppin. So definitely will have to have Jalen Smith in consideration. He grades out as one of the better value plays on tonight's slate. Not a bad matchup. Reserve power forward / centers going up against Milwaukee. they've done decent depending on their usage rate and everything. So I will have to have Jalen Smith at that 4-1 price tag in consideration for this position spot. I do know he has some block upside as well. Outside of that, maybe we could take a chance here on a Bennett Mathurin. We know he's a sniper, 3-point shooter, but out of everybody, he did play a chunk of minutes last night, 38 minutes. So I know he's young. He's got the first legs and whatnot, but that's the most minutes he's played practically all season. Really not understanding why they gave him so much run, considering that they kind of had this game in the bag. Maybe it was to get him going. Hopefully we can see that roll over tonight. I wouldn't mind taking a stab at Mathurin if you feel like he can keep that hot shooting going tonight. That was his best game of the season right there. And then outside of that, maybe you could take a stab at a Bruce Brown. Not the sexiest name, sitting at 6'1", kind of itchy. Hasn't really gave us anything, but in a game where shooters, they can shoot going out here, going up against Milwaukee, I would have to consider him, considering that he is another player that can be out there stroking it from deep. All right, going over to Atlanta, taking on the Orlando Magic. Again, I'm going to say, if you guys haven't subscribed already, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content. And if you're looking for the player pools, cores, and all that other stuff, check the link down in the description below for the Patreon so you guys don't miss that out. Now, this is where we're going to talk game theory, and I like doing these type of things right here, especially on the small slates where I can actually explain it. Just like how I hyped up Giannis, I hyped up Halliburton. I'm pretty sure that on this slate, they are going to be the main two guys that are going to be owned in regards to the top studs. When you look at it, Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, probably going to come in with the lower ownership. Definitely spot where we can go ahead and take a stab at maybe playing one of Trae Young or DeJounte Murray. Currently right now over on Prize Picks, Trae Young, he has a discount for his points. I want to say they got it dropped down below 20 or close to 20 points for him to score tonight. Right now, Trae Young is projected for about 23 points, looking at projections and when I've looked at stuff. So wouldn't mind taking that. Max promo that you can use that is $25. So if you guys want to take advantage of that, check the link down in the description below for the for Prize Picks so you guys can get that deposit match bonus. And while you're at it, check the Dub Club because I will have my list of props up by the time this video goes up, so you guys can pair up some props to go with that. So looking at it, Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, don't mind either one of them. Of course, my philosophy, it will always stand, and this is how I always play whenever it comes down to them. I'm going to look at the ownership, who's going to be lower owned. Right now, Trae Young is projected for 26% ownership, while DeJounte Murray is 31%. Of course, this has a lot to do with the fact of looking at the price, and Trae Young technically really has not gotten it going yet for the season. We haven't had that big 50-plus point game from Trae. His shot has been so-so out there, not really stroking it, knocking it down from 3 just yet. So definitely a spot where we can probably take advantage of it. Now, he's playmaking. The assists are there. The assists for sure, they're there. Turnovers, really high. But the scoring, the points, we know Trae can go out here and drop 30-plus points on any given night if he actually wants to and if he gets the chance to. So I don't mind looking at Trae as possibility to get some leverage, especially on the first game where everyone's going to want to go to a Halliburton, go to a Giannis. Maybe instead you run a Giannis and run a Trae Young and as your main two stud stack that you want to go with on tonight, just to get yourself a little bit different. Not saying that it's a must, but it's a possibility that you can go with here on the slate. Now, DeJounte Murray, I don't mind him. He's been playing very well to start the season, actually taking a chance on his first half fantasy score and PRA prop as a prop that I'm going to. Just the consistency that we've gotten from him really to start the season it's been just a staple, so I don't mind him for safety. Now, outside of that, long as Jalen Johnson is starting, kid is a really great fantasy point per minute producer when he is out there. Looking at it, back-to-back 40-plus fantasy point games. Don't mind going right back to that, sitting at the 6'3". That'll definitely get you off of the Bruce Browns of the world over there in that first game. Outside of that, Sadiq Bey, I got to talk about him. He was a sneaky play that I had last slate that they played when they played against my Thunder. Went out there and dropped 28.5 fantasy points. Love that for him. 15 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. He's got a really great usage rate off of the bench for them, at least playing over 20-plus minutes. And this is where you're going to want to get your value from, like I was saying, from the first game. You can get your value here for the value forwards and the centers over here in this game for the Hawks as well. Looking down, Onyeka Okongwu. Him and Clint, they're practically splitting the minutes. I don't mind going to Okongwu. Again, a really great fantasy point per minute producer. Grades out at 4,200. And you're going up against backup bigs and Goga and Mortz for Orlando. We know this kid, he's got a spring. He rebounds with intensity, can definitely go out there and stroke it. He can score as well. He is going to take some threes. If he can knock them down, that's even better. That's a boost right there, especially over on DraftKings where we get an extra 0.5 per 3 that he makes. We know he can block some shots, and the rebounding, the scoring, all that is there for him. I like that. I do not mind coming down to playing Onyeka at the 4,200 price tag. Understand that he's going to be higher owned than Clint Capella, who is 5,700 versus the 42. So again, another spot where we can get different, and you run Clint over Onyeka. Hopefully, Onyeka maybe gets himself into foul trouble. Clint goes out here and has a pretty decent game. The only catch to Clint is just the minutes are not there. He's playing low 20-ish minutes, very rarely going over that 28, close to 30-minute mark. So that's the only knock that I do have against Clint Capella, and I would take that into consideration. Now going over here to Orlando, again, I really need to get that Fultz news. If he plays, that's definitely going to take a knock on the value that we're getting in Cole Anthony and in Anthony Black. But if he's out, Anthony Black at that 4.3 price tag, I like him. Played 30 minutes in back-to-back games. I expect him to still be in the rotation, get his burn and run. He's not a high fantasy point per minute producer, but it's value that we're looking for on the slate at 4.3. I will have to take that. Speaking of value, and it doesn't make any sense, I'm going to just talk about it since he's sitting right above Anthony Black. I don't know what they're doing with Mort's is his price. They dropped him down to 4.8. This kid was priced up in 5K range recently, and he's playing 19, 20-ish minutes a game and a really great fantasy point per minute producer in a spot where we have seen that bigs going up against the Atlanta. They've done pretty decent. And Mo, player who can play in the rim, who can also stretch the floor, don't mind him at the 4.8 price tag. We'll definitely be taking a chance on him right there as well. Really great value play. And then if you want to, Goga, I know he's going to start. I know he has the block upside. He can get it done on the defensive side. If he's getting his offensive putbacks, he's really a great play right there as well. I wouldn't mind taking a stab at him at 5.4. And then last one I'm going to have to talk about is going to be Paolo. He gets a really great matchup. Power forwards have been actually crushing going up against the Atlanta Hawks. Zion, Kuzma, Karl-Anthony Towns, Giannis, Julius Randle, PJ Washington, Tatum, all of them has dropped at least over 35 plus fantasy points going up against the Hawks here. And Paolo, over the last 3 games since he played against Utah, really has been looking for his shot. It has really been very aggressive. I understand these last 2 games were without Markelle Fultz, but Fultz did play inside of this game right here going up against him. So really do not mind going to Paolo here. If I do take anybody, it looks like he's finally gotten it going. If you want to come down and go to France, don't mind that, but Paolo's going to be the main guy that I want to go to. I definitely think he could probably get Jalen Johnson maybe into some foul trouble and get himself to the line, which he's been very aggressive and getting to the line quite a bit. Now, if Fultz is out, I will say Jalen Suggs. I really will like him again. 5.6 seems like he has a pretty safe floor with him being out. Safe for a period, at least has dropped 30, 20 plus fantasy points outside of that first game of the season. So definitely wouldn't mind taking a stab at Jalen Suggs if Markelle Fultz is out, and then if I just land on him, period, that's not a bad play. All right, guys, that's going to be a breakdown. That's it. Hopefully I gave you guys some information, stuff you could use. If you guys got anything for me, talk to me down in the comment section. I will gladly help you guys out. Talk to me inside the Discord. I will be there as well. We'll be dropping a first half slip inside of the Discord once I get everything uploaded and done for the day. Hopefully I will see you guys there, and hopefully you guys do have a nice night. See you guys tomorrow for the 8-game slate. Peace.